Welcome to another video for theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And we're here at WBC 2025 with the great and glorious and lots of other superlatives,
Please.
Gregory M. Smith.
Remember thou art mortal.
Yes,
Remember thou art mortal.
yes.
So, for reference, we just sat down and kind of talked through
14
a veritable
games.
treasure trove of new and upcoming games that Greg has designed. And so I wanted to kind of sit down on camera and talk through a few of these, perhaps some of the ones that people haven't heard of, or some of the ones that are kind of really like up and coming here real soon as well.
Well, I'm in a kind of a strange place currently because a whole lot of my designs kind of came to fruition at the same time. So through a lot of factors which I have no control over, it just so happens that I have a whole lot of designs that are either in their very final steps or they're on the slow boat from China at this point in time. So I should have several releases next year, depending on if I can get slots from Compass, and who have been really gracious to me for giving me, I feel, just wonderful art support. So I have no complaints. And we'll see some of the artwork that the guys have done for me.
So one thing, we had this chat before we kind of played and had some discussion. You said Compass generally does about 24 to 28 games a year.
Yeah, they usually...
Give or take.
Compass has 2 releases a month, basically.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll do 3.
Right.
So there might be, I'd say 26 to 28, maybe a very busy year, 30. But they try to only do a couple of releases a month.
Yeah.
Which, they don't want to flood the market or go too crazy. I mean, there's only so much they can handle,
Right.
as well with the shipping department.
Logistics.
So, if I can get two games out a year, I feel blessed.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I asked that because, we're seeing there's like 8 games here. So does that literally mean maybe 4 years we might see some of these games? I'm joking because I know you have no control over it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good games.
We could do the year of Greg Smith.
Yeah.
Those games, TM. That would be amazing.
I think that would be cool because my goal at this point is to get them all published before I die of old age.
You still got 15,
for some of us, that's more of a concern than for others, like Young Pup here. But the point is, I do have a lot of games basically ready to go. But on the flip side, I would have liked to have had a copy of British Tank Ace.
Sure.
That's being released in about a month.
Here, you didn't bring it.
No, I didn't bring it.
Yeah.
So British Tank Ace and Panzer Ace is hot on the heels. So I'm expecting Panzer Ace spring next year.
Okay.
But British Tank Ace, and then later this year, I'm hoping that Sensuikon, which is my Japanese submarine version of the Hunters, World War II submarines, which was a crazy game. But I'm hoping for that to come out also. So I've got, and then I also have Rebel Tide, which is complete, which is
Rebel Tide.
basically American Civil War. GMT's recent Civil War game. Who did Simon?
The U.S. Civil
Yeah.
War from Simon.
Simon Tisch,
Yep.
gorgeous game. I mean, I'm not trying to say, this is, it's apples and oranges, because this you could play in one evening.
Yeah.
You ain't going to play Simon Tisch's game in one evening. He is a gorgeous game, no doubt. I mean, it's
That's a whole weekend, though.
Pardon me, that's a fantastic game. But that's
the hallmark of this Tide series is 2 to 3.5 hours, and then once you get I think 2 hours.
I think, 2.5.
2.5.
Well, the whole point is I wanted games that could be done in an evening.
Yeah.
I think there's a place for that.
Niche,
I'm trying to fulfill that need. So that's what the Tide series is all about, is a nice game. And speaking of which...
Oh, yeah.
Iberian. Well,
Iberian Tide looks amazing.
So I worked with, this is about the Spanish Civil War, and the neat thing about Iberian Tide, well, we went through a lot of name changes on this one. You notice the prototype's just called Spanish Civil War. But I worked on this with Michael Vitale. And it really brings up a cool point, which is I've done collaborations now with 4 or 5 people. Quite a few, actually. Joe Gandera, Michael Vitale, Ian Cooper for Western Front, several others. And I really think that makes for a much better game.
I mean, 2 heads are better than 1.
Well, I mean, that's the old adage, but also, it is literally true. But, you know, wargamers are a pretty smart crowd. Trust me, when 3,000 pairs of eyeballs look at something you've done, they'll let you know if they think you're wrong on anything. But essentially, you know, it's smart, you know, you think you're good and you think your game's good, but there's no project that can't be improved by having several sets of eyes critically looking at it. And really, every war game is a collaboration when you think about the fact that, which hopefully it's been play tested. Those play testers are collaborators, essentially. I got a guy right now, Kevin Cantwell, out in New York State.
Is he a lunatic or just a normal guy?
He's a valued customer.
Lunatic is a term of endearment.
Yes, for me it is. He's been working on Western Desert Ace.
You're jumping ahead now.
I'm sorry.
Get down here.
So this is sort of like Night Fighter Ace or Interceptor Ace, except it's in North Africa. And so you can fly, actually in here, 3 different, you can either fly Italian, British, or German. The games, the planes that were available for the time period. But
even including biplanes.
Including the biplanes, CR-42 and the Gloucester Gladiator. But the thing about Kevin is he's got really sharp eyes, and he's made some fantastic suggestions. And if you're a designer that's worth 10 cents, you're going to listen to your playtesters. And he's had great ideas. I've tried to incorporate as much as I can of them when they make sense. I mean, some of them.
Sometimes
it's
you know
beyond
better.
the scope.
Well, yeah. Get my head small. Yeah, sometimes I do know better. No, maybe doesn't fit in with. Sometimes people have great ideas, but sometimes I want to limit the scope of the game, or be more tight in the design. But anyway, the point is, Kevin. So. Playtesters are collaborators. I consider them in that sense. But if you go even more so to like Michael Vitale and I, just magic in a bottle. I met this guy, and he worked on Aces way back in the day, or he was associated with that project. Axis and Allies came up, and Michael, I don't know what it is, but we're sort of, we just kind of clicked. And so he kind of did stuff, and I did stuff. I did the cards, by the way, for Iberian Tide. And we did a lot of testing. And this is going to be a very good game. So it's really, the map last year we had, this is basically the production map.
That's pretty nice.
And we'll just hide the lower half of your face.
I'll do absolutely nothing to help.
Yes. You just
sit there.
Just sit there and be quiet. Thank you. But it's kind of a neat adaptation of the Tide system. It's a little different, almost counterinsurgency to a degree, but both sides were just really horrible people. I mean, who do you root for? Franco and the fascists, or the stinking communists who are just as bad, murdered just as many people without, it's just really fascinating, and a lot of the lead up to World War II. So I thought that this was his idea, by the way. Michael he thought the Tide system, he liked it a lot, and I said, well, let's do a Tide game together, and we did.
And that's what came.
And I think collaborating is it really makes for a stronger design, because you get that sort of give and take, and maybe you didn't always, you think you're smart, but you don't always think things through, and I'm certainly guilty of that as the next guy. So I'm very happy with the way this has turned out, and I'm hoping next year in this one.
Yeah. I'll be your Vanna White.
Sure, there you go. Well, Vanna, what's behind the what I did for my summer vacation?
That's this one.
This one? Yeah. Your summer vacation 25 years ago.
Last year we talked about Insurgent Tide.
We did.
But this is a production map. So this one's pretty close to done. Well, essentially it is done. But the thing I like about this for the Tide system is definitely counterinsurgency and heavy. But it's card-based. It's just like the other Tide games. It's 2003, 2008, but 03 is kind of just like one card each.
A ramp up.
It's just the start of the game. The game doesn't really start till 04 when I got there. First game I ever did where I was a participant. I was right there. But I think
what were you doing?
This is good. I was information operations officer for Combined and Joint Special Operations Task Force Arabian Peninsula, basically the Special Forces headquarters at Camp Iverson, which was a sub base of Anaconda. And when I got there, I told my wife I'd be totally safe. There'd be no problems because I'll be behind the wire and everything. I was like, well, why is this camp named Camp Iverson? And they said, well, that's Syverson. I said, well, that was the name of the mortar that got the major that got killed with a mortar, before you got here. I was like, oh, that's nice. So, Rip Major Syverson, from all accounts, a good dude, but yeah. So, interesting job. But I got what made the research for this game really easy was I was there for a year of it, and because I worked in comms with all the different generals who were reporting, and my colonel, even though he was just a full colonel, he was special forces were considered a major command. So all the major commands reported to the 3-star, and I got to listen to that every day for a year. So I was kind of the fly on the wall, and I used that information to help build this game 20 years later.
Yeah, that's cool.
And a lot of the events in the game on the cards occurred while I was there, or at least I heard about later. But this may be one of my better games. I'm really happy with it. I think it's a good game. It's fun. It plays well, and it's Tide, a couple of years.
The Tide series,
couple hours.
We've played a couple of those. Imperial Tide is my favorite.
Yeah.
But I love buying the cards, having to buy the cards. You've only got limited resources, and you decide, do I buy new cards or do I buy some of the cards that I've already played?
Yeah. Unlike Yamato, this is decision heavy.
Oh, yeah.
But if you liked Imperial Tide, you'll like this one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I promise you.
Yeah.
In fact, I will make sure you get a copy.
Okay.
One of my designer copies.
Okay, well, that's awful nice. We will look forward to it and definitely play it.
You guys have always been gracious. I have no complaints. In fact, you could say something bad about one of my games, and I wouldn't even care.
I get it.
Because
I pull out the list.
But my job is to be sure you have nothing like that to say.
Right.
Nothing that I haven't confessed to in advance, I guess. But no.
Let's talk about B-52.
Oh, yeah.
Because we played this. At least a turn.
We did. These guys flew veterans of one mission over Hanoi.
And we survived, which was good.
And very unlikely.
Yeah. So this came about, I remember a couple of years back I said, magazine games, the heck with that noise. I ain't doing that jank again. Because it was like, I like having all the tools in the toolbox. I like having cards and player aid cards and playing
lots of dice.
Whatever I want. I don't want to be limited. But Ty Bamba, I was saying, I don't think I could do a B-52 game in it for the magazine. And Ty Bamba said, yes, you can. I was like, all right, brother, you're on, man. Game on. I was like, and it was actually fun. So it was a challenge for me to get it all to fit, number one. And so I did actually get it all to fit on the map. Map in quotation marks is actually your bomber. And so, but the reason I was able to do that was this is just Linebacker 2. So these are just the missions that lead up, forcing the North Vietnamese to come back to Paris to the peace accords. And so that's your objective in the game, is to bomb them hard enough that they come back to Paris. And so you're dodging a lot of SA-2 missiles.
And MiGs.
There's
occasionally.
Rare, which was about as rare as they actually occurred. I might even tweak it downwards yet. Because it's really about you and the SA-2s, not so much the MiGs. But the bottom line is not a huge amount of decisions in the game, but each mission could be done in about 5-10 minutes. So the point is, you could play this whole game probably an hour and a half max, and it's solitaire. You do have a couple of missions and what position you are in the raid, and what kind of jamming support you're going to have, things like that. But it's just meant to be a magazine game. It's fun, easy, and something you can play real quick.
Yeah. Well, this is comparable to some of your like Interceptor Ace and same concepts. Those are a little more involved.
Those are more involved. This is really just 10 missions. Those are more career games.
Yeah.
But a lot of the routines I stole from there. Yes, for sure on that. But I think this will be fun.
Oh, yeah.
This is not coming out till issue 120 though, so
Which
it's
is probably in the next
2 years down the road. Yeah, I got a while. So that's what this and I may yet do a box version of this. I don't know.
We got to talk about this one too.
Oh, B-36. Yeah. So before we had the B-52, we had the B-36. Came out at the end of World War II. Too late for World War II. It was our only strategic heavy bomber, nuclear capable, in the late 40s, early 50s. So it never was used in combat. It's so cool though. You had like 10 engines. Like what crazy. Bomber has 10 engines? 15 crew. I mean, this is like a bus. It's carries nuclear. I wonder
if it flies like a bus.
Oh, 4 bomb bays, 4 jet engines, 6 props, 4 bomb bays, carries nukes, but it just never got the attention of like the B-52 or the B-17 or the other our other heavy bombers because it never fought in combat.
Yeah, indeed. Before an hour and a half ago, I had never heard of this.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just not on the top of everybody's list. Got some really cool books though. I was like, just helped me do the design. But the thing is that the Air Force saved it. So Korea broke out they didn't use it in Korea. Well, why not? Well, they could have. But they didn't because it was our only nuclear deterrent at the time. We didn't have nuclear submarines, long-range ballistic missiles. We didn't have all the ICBMs, but we had this. So they kept it in reserve. Could they have used it in Korea? Well, they used B-29s in the strategic bombing role in Korea. And they would take off from Kadena Air Base, and they'd fly up to North Korea, and they bombed a bunch of targets, which I had historical lists of the actual targets they bombed. So I thought, oh man, I could do this. So this sort of hypothetical from the viewpoint that you're using this to bomb North Korea, which they didn't do historically, but they could have. All right, so that's cool. Well, of course, everybody's like, oh, you got to have Slim Pickens, you got to have Dr. Strangelove. Well, so I thought I got to have a nuclear bombing mission over Moscow. I mean, got to do it, right? The early 50s, why not?
Got to be a what if, right?
So I have this what if where you take off from Alaska and you bomb Moscow. And there's a special set of rules for that. Hey, it's already a what if game because we didn't really do
anything with them.
Korea, so why not? And it's actually kind of similar. A lot of the routines are similar to America Bomber and Defending America. So I did that. And it's
And is this one going to be a magazine game?
No, this is a real game with real game.
They're real games. They're all real games.
I didn't say that out loud, Ty. I promise. I swear you didn't hear me say that. And that's why.
In trouble, Greg.
And that's why
I don't do those games.
And that's why I'm terrible at these interviews because like I say the first thing that comes out of my mouth, and these guys are like first draft equals final copy. We don't edit
whatsoever.
We don't edit anything.
It's going to stay in there because it's real.
Well, there it is. Yeah, it's going to be a real game.
Okay.
But this is way down the road. I don't even have an artist for this one yet. Speaking of artists, though, my main artist, I got to do my shout. I already did my shout out for Kevin, my tester there, who's done yeoman work. Nadir Alfara does such fantastic work. I can't thank him enough, and he has almost lost his house in the California LA fires.
Got it.
Thank God he didn't. But despite that, he has just done fantastic. You think we have a bromance? Let me tell you, man. He and I are,
So let's talk about that.
I just love the work he does for me, and like carrier race. Speaking of, I believe the technical term is what a segue.
And I have a copy of this that I need to return.
You do. You've been slacking on me. Yeah, that's the money shot there. Yeah.
What's my favorite plane? Remember I told you my favorite
SBD3, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
So the thing that's kind of cool about this game, and we discussed this before, but I had just I told you I was struggling with the design. So I finally cracked the code. And the cool thing about this game, and to me anyway, is that you can either be the fighter pilot or an SBD pilot or a TBF pilot. So you either torpedoes, bombs, or be the fighter, escort, whatever you want to do.
And you have different bombing boards for those, right? You have
based on
torpedoes, you have for the land bombing, and then you have fighter. I think that's pretty cool.
So if you're bombing the ships in the middle of the ocean, you use the ocean target board. But if you're strafing, you got land on some island somewhere, you got the island target board. And so that depends if you're, bombing ships or, so ground attack is either water or land. And then there's, of course, a full set of air-to-air routines, somewhat similar to interceptor ace or night fighter. So the air-to-air routines are tried and true. They work nice. So I'm happy for this one. I think the artwork's fantastic. It needs to go through final review yet, but
and you're trying to get 1-inch counters, right, for the aircraft on this
one? Yeah.
Which I think is cool.
I forgot about that. So I think we're going to...
Because the positioning is a key part of that routine for the air-to-air operations.
Yeah. Well, I haven't got permission yet.
But you've got prototype there, so it's going to be...
It's better to have... No, wrong one.
Oh, is that another one?
Western Desert Ace has the 1-inch counters.
Well, maybe you'll put those in here as well.
Bill just had a sigh of relief that he doesn't have to move for this way. He's got time to campaign.
They got Western Front Ace. Yeah. Anyway, this one's about done.
This one has the comic book in it, though.
Yeah. How crazy is that, right?
I think it's cool.
So Ray Fiore, my co-designer on this game, does artwork and does all these crazy comic books. He goes, I want to put a comic book in your game. I said, that's the craziest thing I ever heard of, but why not? And Bill said, okay, sure, we'll do it.
There's the 1-inch counters right there.
Oh yeah, this is for 1-inch counters for a different game. So we're gonna have some 1-inch counters for the dogfights, for those of us who have bad eyesight and fat fingers, and hopefully it will help out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Carrier Ace is gonna have a comic book in it. Who knew? Which I think is kind of cool, but it is what it is.
So I wanted to ask you a question about your artists.
How
do they assign you an artist at Compass? Do they have a list that they are?
We have I guess if I was a Middle Eastern caliph, that would there's a harem. Bill has a harem. I shouldn't say there I go again. I shouldn't say that out loud.
It's going in.
There's a lot.
We're not editing it.
There's a group. So there's a stable, I think is the less sexist term.
The more appropriate
term, sure. So there's a stable of artists. However, I have, because I'm reasonably prolific, I guess that's legitimate to say at this point in my career,
You've made a few games.
Because I do a lot of games, and I try to be prolific, I have been assigned my own artist. So Nadir is my
Nice.
assigned artist. Doesn't mean, well, Rebel Tide, Civil War, I got Bruce Yerian,
Yeah.
was my artist for that game. Spanish Civil War was also Bruce Yerian. Yamato, of course, was Paul Stufart from the magazine. So it just depends.
Got it.
But for most of my games, it's Nadir El Farah. And
That's kind of cool, I think, because
well-
you guys are able to build a rapport and an understanding of what your vision is and what their vision is. That's a great idea.
ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
winner chicken dinner. I think is
great.
that they say, right? It's can't beat it. And the other thing that's awesome about Nadir, I haven't mentioned either, is he's not just and I've had these artists who were like, all right, here's your stuff. I was like, you do realize this is a war game, right? This is not My Pink Pony with a flamethrower. No, this is a war game. Nadir has really good historical knowledge, especially in World War II. I usually focus on World War II, at least a lot of my topics. So, you know what I'm saying?
He understands the context of not only the game, but what's going into the artwork.
Exactly. So he's fantastic. Not only that, a couple of times he's caught errors.
Yeah.
But plus two, I could just with a minimum of here's what I need, and it's always a lot of times more than I expected. So yeah, I'm thrilled with Nadir.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Couldn't be happier. And that's why I love Compass, and I'm going to stay with him probably till I die, and hopefully these games will all be published before I die. Which is
Well, I'm going to say this. My guess is you'll have about 15 others. So at some point, you're going to have games that come out after your ultimate, would be my guess.
well, we'll see.
But who knows?
We'll see.
Because you're in good shape, you continue to have a good mind, you're working on these things.
You know,
you come up with more ideas than I can imagine.
Well, it beats the heck out of becoming an alcoholic, I guess. Keeps me at home. The wife doesn't complain because she knows where I'm at, But
You're down in your
which, by the way, gamers, that's a great. Tell your girl if you got one. Hey, or your guy.
Our wives are totally okay with us playing together because then they don't have to deal with this.
Well, and they know where you are,
Yeah,
and they know,
right.
So no problems there. But
Yeah.
no, so I have just had a big year on my end. I've just got, but it's like I'm.
We have a lot to look forward to, right?
This is G-rated. It's like I'm constipated here. It's like actually I'm not constipated. Compass is constipated.
We're going to leave that in.
You're gonna leave that
We're
in.
gonna leave that in. You're going to have to pay for that one.
Something's got to go here. It's sooner rather than later.
Well, maybe they'll add one of those extra slots for one of these great games.
I hope so.
Maybe.
I'm hoping to get 3 next year. I'm going to try to push for that, but
Yeah.
I have made a command decision several years ago I'm not going to second guess Bill's business calls.
Yeah.
I had a game with him and he sat on it for a while and then it finally came out. Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that because he needs, if Compass isn't successful, I am not successful.
Right.
I got nothing. So I view it as my job to help them be
Well, it's
successful.
symbiotic in many ways, right?
Yeah, there you go. Whatever.
So you're saying that we shouldn't lobby the people to call their local
what's the other word?
representatives
Not a symbiotic. It's not
Parasitic.
parasitic.
Well, he might think you're a parasite. I'm not sure. But what were you saying? I'm not sure.
Well, so we shouldn't ask the people to lobby their local and state representatives to email Bill
and get these
to get your
released.
guys on a docket. We shouldn't be doing that.
No,
Don't do
no,
that.
no. I'm more than treated more than fairly, and if I can get two games a year, I'm happy. And I'm kind of cheating anyway because I'll probably get a third.
With the magazine.
With the magazine is sort of outside the
That's
normal
a real
release.
game. That's a real
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
That's what we've established today.
Oh, and by the way, I'm sure your customers want. Why, yes, this This is a shark in a tank. Yes.
Oh, Shark Tank.
Shark Tank, nice.
If I didn't have my wife, I wouldn't have my 8-year-old collection of clothes, or clothes suited for an 8-year-old is what I meant to mean.
Probably more appropriate.
Anyway.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your day to sit down with us, to walk us through all of this, play some Linebacker 2. I'm very excited for, especially Iberian Tide.
Yeah.
We're on a little bit of a Spanish Civil War buff.
Are you? All right.
Now. We played Crusade and Revolution earlier
Oh,
this
it's so
year.
good.
Well,
From Compass.
yeah, well,
Compass.
And it's such an interesting
so
conflict. And we played a couple
there
games.
is some.
but there's
There
so
was
much
some
history
amazing, the precursor to World War II, but
Yeah.
so much political anguish and outside support from communists and fascists and the Abraham Lincoln Brigade. That we have the international brigades, but our Iberian Tide. The reason I think you're going to like it is you can knock it out in the evening.
there. Yeah. Which
Two
is
and
always
a half, 3 hours, you're done.
A good
And,
meaty war game.
Bill's son Billy, that was playing against Julian last convention, and they got down right to the end. So we put a lot of effort into balancing it too.
Nice.
Which I think is really important,
Oh, yeah.
because I hate those games that are like, oh yeah, but if you do this on turn 2, you always win. It's like,
Yeah.
That's like, what are we doing at that point?
yeah. Well, like one of the most beloved World War I games. It's been our earlier discussion on Errata,
Yep.
Paths of Glory. I mean, that thing was broken on initial release.
Yeah.
And then, but then they changed it. They had all the Italians, were allotted to be entrenched, and these guys. So they fixed it. I mean,
Yeah.
all games are going to have that, but I think if you do your due diligence, you can at least get the game reasonably well balanced. And for me, my last couple of Tide games have had like 2 years of testing. So I feel confident, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not, I know I probably come off as pretty much like a smug bastard, but I'm not smug. Let's just say I feel, I've been doing it for a while. I feel confident.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. I'm in a happy place right now.
Yes.
I got a lot of titles getting ready to go, and I want to thank you guys for your support.
Yeah, always.
Well, thank you for sitting down, and we
Hey.
thank everyone else for tuning in. I'm Alexander from PlayersAid.com.
And I'm Grant.
And I'm Greg, the guest.